When Apple released the first iPhone, they reinvented what our phones were capable of. Well, with iOS 26, it looks like Apple's done it again. There's a brand new phone app with a new design, new features, new functions, and tons of brand new tools. Want to know how to make the most out of it? Stick around. I got you covered. I'm Dylan Stewart, the MacWhisperer, and in today's video, we're going to learn how to use the brand new iOS 26 phone app. It's got a brand new design, new features, screening tools, filtering tools, and so much more. Make sure to stick around for my MacWhisperer power tip where I reveal a tool that takes the phone app up to the next level. Let's hop on in and get started. The brand new phone app is more than a redesign with a couple of features tacked on. It's a reinvention of what the phone on our iPhone is capable of doing. And it's got new tools like screening and filtering and recording phone calls and so much more. If you'd like to follow along with today's lesson, scan the QR code that you see on your screen or hop over to the description section where you can hit the link to download your free smart guide. Our smart guides are simple, clear, step-by-step visual documents that walk you through everything we're going to talk about today. Let's hop over to my iPhone and check out the brand new, completely redesigned phone app. As soon as I click on it, you're going to be amazed by how it looks exactly like it used to look. That's disappointing. I thought this was supposed to be a brand new, redesigned phone app, Dylan. Why does it look like it used to look? Well, there's a really simple explanation. When you first upgraded to iOS 26 and you opened the phone app, you were probably prompted to choose either the unified view or the classic view. And since most people don't like change, most people have stuck with the classic view, which means that you've got a brand new, super powerful phone app that looks exactly like it used to look. Now in a moment, I'm going to show you how to turn on the unified view and explore it and make the most out of it. But before that, let's refresh our memory about how the classic view worked and still works. Down at the bottom, we've got a bunch of tabs, starting with our Favorites tab on the far left. The Favorites tab is where you put your favorite people, making it easy for you to call, text, or email someone with a simple click. To the right of the Favorites tab, we've got our recent call log. This keeps track of any phone calls that you make, that you receive, or that you miss. Any call that has an arrow pointing up and to the right is an outgoing call that you made. Any call with an arrow pointing down and to the left is an incoming call that you received. If you didn't answer that incoming call, it turns red to let you know that you've missed it. And to the right of the Recents tab, we've got our Contacts tab. Here we'll see information about anyone in our address book. And to the right of the Contacts tab, we've got the keypad where you can dial any number that's not already in your address book or punch in those extension codes we occasionally need to use. Coming one tab over to the right, we end up in our voicemail list. And voicemail has been an important part of the phone since the very beginning. In fact, when the first iPhone came out, it completely reinvented voicemail, creating something called visual voicemail, which is what we all use now. But with the new phone app, voicemails are even better because they get transcribed. So whenever somebody leaves a voicemail, it transcribes the message, making it easy for you to read it rather than listening to it, and making it easy for you to take action on that voicemail or delete it if you're done with it. And in the upper right-hand corner, you can change your voicemail greeting, or you can use the edit button on the left side to delete multiple voicemails all at the same time. So that's the way the classic view looked. How do we get to this new unified view we keep talking about? We're going to come over to our Recents tab, and in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to notice this icon of these three lines. They call that icon the filter. And that filter hides all of the tools for the new unified screen and the new phone app. So let's hit the filter and check out this unified view. As we click it, notice up at the top, we've got the option to stick on the classic view that we're on or change to the unified view. Let's try out the unified view. As soon as I do that, it completely changes my screen. Down at the bottom, we're missing a bunch of tabs. We no longer have a Favorites tab. we no longer have a Recents tab, and we no longer have a Voicemail tab. All three of those have been consolidated into one tab called the Calls tab. And in the Calls tab, up at the top, there are our favorites. And right below that, we've got all of our recent calls. And when someone leaves a voicemail, you'll see the voicemail right here. So you can click on it within the Calls tab, listen to the voicemail, and take action or delete it if there's nothing for you to do. Instead of having multiple places to jump around for your favorites, your recents, and your voicemails, everything's in this one Call tab, and it makes it easy to get everything you need done. When you're using the unified view, the filter is essential for getting around to the different sections. What do I mean by different sections? Well, let's hit the filter and take a look. We have three separate options. We've got our Calls option, which is what we're currently on, and then we have an option called Missed. If you click this, it will filter all of your missed calls so you can find them all in one place without them cluttering up the rest of your call log. Coming back to the filter in the upper right-hand corner, we've also got a separate section for your voicemails. If you want to see your voicemails all together rather than interspersed in your call log, here they are, making it easy for you to click on any voicemail, listen to it, delete it, or even click the share button to save that voicemail or send it to somebody else. All of these tools exist right within the filter button inside of the voicemail section. Now there's an important piece we need to talk about regarding the filter right here. Notice that the filter is currently blue. That's because the filter is active and turned on, showing us only our voicemails. If I click on it again and I go to the missed calls, it's still blue because we're still filtering all of our missed calls. But if I click on it and go to the Calls section, notice that the filter is white and everything shows up in this one list. When the filter is blue, it means you're not seeing everything. So make sure you don't accidentally leave yourself with the filter turned on and then wonder why you can't find your favorites or your recent calls. The filter should be deactivated whenever you're done working in the phone app. To do that, simply click on the filter and tap on the top option, which is Calls. And just like that, the filter is turned off. It's great that Apple's given us the ability of filtering things and simplifying the phone app by having our favorites, our recents, and our voicemails all in one place. But there's another fantastic feature inside of the new phone app, and we'll find it inside of the filter. Let's click on it, and down at the bottom, you're going to see a new option called Manage Filtering. With iOS 26, we have filtering and call screening options available in the phone app, and I can't wait to show you how to use them. The new call filtering and call screening capability is really powerful. Let's explain the difference between filtering and screening first. When we're talking about filtering, we're talking about taking your entire list and separating it out so you only see a part of the list. In this case, we can filter by just our missed calls, or we can filter by just our voicemails. But there's additional filtering options that exist inside of the Settings app. One of my favorite things about the filter is this Manage Filtering button down at the bottom, because by clicking on that, it will open up the Settings app to the right section to make those changes. If I didn't have that button, I'd have to do it manually, which would look a little something like this. First, I'd swipe out of the phone, and then I'd have to find my Settings app, and then I'd have to scroll to the bottom and click on the Apps button, and then I'd have to go to the P for phone and find it here and click there, and then I'm inside of that setting. But I don't need to do that anymore because with the filter, one button click takes me right to that section, just like this. Let's talk about call filtering first, because there are two settings here that are going to make it easier for you to manage your phone calls and your communication. One of the biggest problems we've got these days is robocalls or people calling your phone that aren't real people or aren't in your address book. We call these unknown callers. Unknown callers is anyone who's not in your address book or calling from a blocked line. When unknown callers call you, they will either ring through, depending on your settings, or go to your voicemail. But either way, those unknown calls are going to show up inside of your call log, making it hard for you to find the real phone calls versus the robocalls. By clicking on the unknown callers filtering option here, it will take any unknown callers and separate them. Once you've activated that setting, when you come back into your phone app, you'll notice that you don't have any unknown callers in this call log. Instead, when you click on the three lines in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see your unknown callers section here, and it will organize all of those unknown calls in one place. By filtering your unknown callers, it makes it easier for you to manage them. If you know that a caller is junk, you can click the delete button, and you can even report it as spam, just like that. But if a call came in that's from somebody that you know, you can click where it says Mark as Known right there. And when you do, you'll get the option to mark it as known so it doesn't continue to get filtered, or you can add that person into your address book so you know who they are when they call. That's always the better move. Let's do that for this caller. Click Add to Contacts. It's going to open up the contact card, type in the person's name, and click the checkbox. And that phone number is a known caller now, and it left this section. By screening your unknown callers, you're going to make it so much easier to identify spam and also identify people you need to add to your address book. And there's a separate section called spam filtering. Your carrier, along with most major carriers, is building a database of spam callers and robocallers. By turning on this filter here, if a spam caller from the database reaches out to you, it will immediately get captured and put into its own spam section rather than ringing your phone or clogging up your voicemail. It even keeps those callers out of the unknown calls section because we know who they are. They're robocallers. And by doing that, you can simplify it even further. Coming back over to our phone app, if we click on the filter in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to notice that in addition to the calls, missed, and voicemail section, we now have an unknown callers section and a spam section. This is going to make it so much easier for you to stay focused on the people you actually want to talk to. Let's talk about call screening. Call screening is different from call filtering. Remember when we had answering machines and somebody would call and you'd listen to their message and then pick it up if you wanted to talk to them? That's what call screening is. And when it comes to unknown callers, those are some of the biggest problems we've got. Because if they're not in your address book, but they're a person you want to talk to, you need to get that call. But if they're a spam provider, you want to skip that call. So how do you know who's calling when they're not in your address book? In the past, we had an option to silence all unknown callers. This means if they weren't in your address book, they would go straight to voicemail. Your phone wouldn't even ring. And you could check your voicemail later to see if it was real or not. This is a great way to avoid robocalls, but a terrible way to catch that call from your doctor who calls from a blocked line. The other option is the Never Screen Unknown Callers option, which means whenever anybody calls, whether they're in your address book or not, it will ring and you will answer it and deal with it. This is annoying when the majority of those unknown callers are junk, but you don't want to miss the doctor's office. So how do you split the difference? Well, with iOS 26, they've given us a third option called Ask Reason for Calling. When an unknown caller reaches out to you with this setting turned on, they'll be greeted with a message that asks them their name and their reason for calling. They can respond in their voice, and that will be transcribed and sent to you as the phone rings, letting you know who it is and making it easier to decide whether you want to take that call or let it go to voicemail. Here's how it looks. My wife reached out to me from a number I didn't recognize, and it hit the call screening option, and it asked her to leave her name and why she's calling.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
She responded with, "It's your wife, and I got a new phone." You'll then notice that my phone rings, letting me know that this new number is connected to my wife and that she got a new phone. Now it's easy for me to click that green answer button and pick up the call while she's leaving the message. This new tool makes it super simple to filter unknown callers and immediately determine whether they're a real person or junk. Super simple. Before we leave this section, there's two other things I want to talk about. The first one is this option we see right here called Live Voicemail. When live voicemail is turned on, if somebody calls you and hits your voicemail, when they start leaving the message, you will see the message they're leaving in real time. It looks like this. You'll see that my wife called, hit my voicemail, and started to leave the message.
Hi, honey, it's me. I'm here at the grocery store and I needed to know if we're out of a couple things.
I saw the message while she was leaving it and clicked the answer button and picked up the call even though she was in the middle of leaving a voicemail. Hi, honey. Hold on a second. Let me go take a look in the fridge and I'll tell you, I'm pretty sure we've got... Live voicemail is a super powerful tool because it means you can now screen calls just like we used to do with those old physical answering machines. If you don't want to pick it up, let it go to voicemail. If you want to grab it, click the answer button. And in addition to the live voicemail, there's another tool that got added with iOS 26 called Type to Reply. And Type to Reply is one of my favorite features of the new phone app. Here's how it works. When someone calls, if you can't answer, you can click this Type to Reply button and then you can type in any message you want to send to the person. So in this example, my wife is calling. I see that it's my wife, but I can't answer. So I click Type to Reply and I ask her if there's anything I can help her out with. She can then respond in her voice and I can see her response in real time, letting me know whether I need to pick up the call or whether she can just finish leaving the voicemail. Type to Reply is like answering your phone without actually having to answer it and check the voicemails. I love it and I'm using it all the time whenever I can't pick up that call, but I want to see why the person's calling. I can't tell you how often I'm using Type to Reply and how much it's changed how I feel about answering a phone call. Once you're inside of a call, there's a ton of tools hidden under the More button in the lower left-hand corner. Let's click it and check them out. We've got a new option called Call Recording, which makes an audio recording of any phone call and creates a transcription inside of the Notes app. As I click on Call Recording, it will read a prompt letting the other party know this call is about to be recorded. Up at the top, as soon as it starts recording, you'll notice this banner that allows me to jump right into the note where the recording is taking place. I can come into this note and add any additional information, just like that. But the call is still going on. I can rejoin the call by clicking on the dynamic island up at the top, which shows me a truncated view of what's happening on that call. Tapping it again will open up the call screen. From here, as I continue to talk, it's continuing to record whatever I'm saying into that note, even though I can't technically see the note. This means the next time you're on that important business call, you don't need to scramble around looking for a pen and a piece of paper. Just click the record button and grab the transcription later. When you're done recording the call, you can click the stop button right here, or you can end the call, which will also end the recording. As I click that stop button, you'll see the banner to view the saved note. Clicking on it here will show us that note. If I click on this section right here, it will take me to the call recording, where I can listen to the entire call by clicking the play button, or I can read the transcript, or I can click the summary button to find out what happened on that call without having to listen to the whole recording. By clicking on the three dots in the upper right-hand corner, I can change the name of the note, I can add the transcription to the note, I can copy the transcript, or I can save the recording into my Files app or share the audio elsewhere. I'm going to click where it says Add Transcript to Note, and as soon as I do, it takes the entire transcript from that recording and puts it right on the note, clear and simple for me to follow up on. Thanks, Apple. Let's hop right back over to the phone by clicking on our dynamic island, and let's come back down to the three dots. We've also got an option for live translation. This is a part of Apple Intelligence and requires an iPhone 15 Pro or later. When you turn live translation on, you can choose from a selection of different languages. For right now, we've got French, German, Portuguese, and Spanish. When you click Start Translation, like this, it will capture whatever is said by you or the other party and translate it from your language to their language. Right now, it's transcribing what I'm saying, and if we were on the other side of this call, we'd hear my words translated via voice into French. Clicking on the translation section here, you can choose to view the English or to view both the English and the French. And when the other party speaks in French, it's going to translate it into English on my phone, just like this. Bonjour, mon ami, comment allez-vous? And we can see that it translated his French into English and my English into French. And down below live translation, we've got a new option called Hold Assist. When you call a company and they put you on hold and you start to hear that hold music, your phone will recognize that you're on hold and offer to hold the call for you. That means you don't need to stay in the phone app. It will actually hold on and you can do anything else you want to do on your phone or your other devices. When the other party picks up or it's time to answer that call, your phone will notify you, making it easy for you to click a green button and come right back on the line. But you don't have to wait for the phone to recognize that you want to go on hold. At any point you're on a phone call, you can click those three dots and click on Hold Assist just like this. Notice that it captures the call and sends it to my dynamic island. You'll see the little icon of the phone with the pause symbol. As long as nobody's physically answered the other line, it's going to sit here just like that. If you'd like to see what's happening on hold, you can tap on your dynamic island and it'll show you the basic truncated view, or tapping again will pull you to a full screen where you can see a transcript of anything that's been said while you're on hold. When a real person picks up the line, it'll notify me just like this. Hi, this is Reggie. Can I help you? Notice that it shows the information right here. If I tap on it, it'll show me the entire transcript. If he continues to talk, we'll see that too. Hello, is there anybody there? And then as soon as I'm ready to answer the call, all I have to do is click the green pickup button and boom, I'm right on that call and off of hold. Hold Assist is a fantastic tool, and whether you let the phone put you on hold automatically or you do it manually by clicking on the three dots, it's going to make it easier for you to get more done even when you're on hold with the IRS for 3 hours. And the final tool I want to talk about in this section is called screen sharing. If you've ever gotten a phone call from your mom or your dad and they want help with their phone, but you're not in front of them and you don't know how to fix their phone without seeing it, then this tool is for you. As soon as I click the screen sharing option, I'll get two choices. Ask the other party to share their screen with me or share my screen with the other party. I'm going to click the Ask to Share. And as soon as I do, Reggie's phone gets an alert prompting him to share that screen. As soon as he clicks it, it shows up on my phone just like this, and I can continue to be on the phone call while I guide through things. Tapping on that shared screen brings it up full size. And if I click the plus button in the lower left-hand corner, it'll go edge to edge. On the right side, I've got the option to ask to control the other person's phone. By clicking this button right here, they will be prompted, and once they click the allow button, I'm able to do whatever I need to do on their phone, even though I'm not physically on it. And when you're done screen sharing, you can click on the dynamic island up at the top to come back to your phone call and either continue to screen share or end the call. You can also hide the shared screen by swiping it to the right or left side where it will hide underneath that arrow. If you want to come back to it, tap that arrow and it'll come straight over. Tapping on it again will bring it back full screen. Remember, you can always access any of these tools while you're on a phone call by clicking the three dots and the More button right here. Before we finish up on this section, there's a little power tip I'm going to just slide right in. If you ever want to schedule a reminder to call somebody back, it's easy to do from the new phone app and the call screen. All you have to do is swipe from the right side to the left on any contact and click on this little clock icon. This will allow you to schedule a reminder in 1 hour, later tonight, tomorrow, or if you click Remind Me Later, you can schedule it at any time in the future. The iOS 26 phone app is more than just a pretty face. From the new unified view versus the classic view, to the call screening and call filtering options, and all of the tools that exist within calls like recording a phone call, or holding on a call for you, or translating into other languages, Apple's done a phenomenal job of bringing the phone app into the 21st century. But there's just one more thing I'd like to talk about. Before I drop my MacWhisperer power tip, if you've already gotten great value from this video, give it a thumbs up. That makes it so much easier for other people to find it. And if you've got a question, a comment, or you'd like to share the most bizarre robocall you've ever received, drop it into the comments section. I love to hear from you guys. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, well, it's kind of like favoriting me on your phone. Click that subscribe button and that notify bell so that you're always alerted whenever I drop new content. And with that being said, I've got an unknown call coming in. Hold on, let's screen it and see who it is. Oh, look, it's the Power. I love the way the new unified view looks on my phone, but I've got a pretty big issue with it. You see, I'm a visual person, and when I'm making phone calls, I don't want to squint and see somebody's name. I want to see their picture. It used to be that I could easily identify people based on the circular avatar picture that we see to the left of many of my contacts. But in the new favorites view, that tiny little avatar gets lost inside of this big square. Why'd they give us this big square if they were only going to let us use the avatar pictures? Except if you look at my son's picture, you'll notice his picture is taking up the full space available. Why? Well, every single one of our contacts has two different ways they can show their images. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to click on Show All here, and I'm going to click on the eye to the right of my son's name. This pulls me into his address book card, and down below we can see something called Contact Photo and Poster. They're two separate pieces. The contact photo is that circular avatar image, and the poster is the full screen image we see here with my son in his tuxedo. If we click the Edit button in the upper right hand corner and edit the contact info, and then click where it shows his picture and edit that, we will see his avatar image versus his poster image. And the avatar image is the small circle we see, and the poster is the full screen picture, which means that we can come into any one of our favorites and give it a contact poster. But before we start fixing all of our favorites photos, there's something we need to talk about. Let's swipe out of the phone app and come into the settings app here. From here, let's go down to the bottom where it says apps. Let's open up the phone. You'll see this section that says share name and photo. What that means is that you can actually create your own avatar image and your own poster image. And then if you come down to the bottom, you can turn on name and photo sharing and share it automatically. By turning it on to share automatically with contacts only, it means whenever you connect with any one of your contacts, you will automatically send them your avatar picture and your poster picture, which will make it that much easier for them to beautify their favorites list with the full screen images. It's really easy to set up a full screen image. Let me show you how to do it. We're going to come into the Show All section here and come to my stepmom, Judy. I'll click on the little eye to the right, click Edit, and then Edit Contact Info, and then edit the photo. Here I've got her avatar, but I'm not interested in her avatar. I'm going to click on the poster section where we realize she hasn't set up a poster yet. No problem, I can do it for her. Let's click on the Photos section and choose a picture from my photo library. If you've organized your photo library properly, you'll notice that coming into the People and Pets section, you will find almost everybody you communicate with or take pictures of regularly. You can find any of the pictures you like of that person to use as their contact poster. Let's see. Here's a perfect one of Judy celebrating the holidays. Looks great. We can resize it by pinching and spreading, positioning it exactly where we want. And then we have different options for filters. Down at the bottom, you'll see we're currently on natural. If I swipe on the screen, we'll change to a gradient backdrop, and I can control the gradient by clicking here and choosing the color, or a seamless background, or a seamless background with a black and white photo, what they call overprint, a studio view, which has a dark view and a light view. You can change it by clicking this button here. A black and white view, a color backdrop, a duotone, a color wash, and more. Different photos will give you different filter options. I think we're going to stick with this one right here, but I'm going to change the background to a warmer color. Let's click on the color box there, change that there, make it a little bit darker. And here we've got a perfect contact poster for Judy. Clicking on the Done button, it asks me to save it, and we'll click the checkbox right here. You may get asked whether you want to change the avatar to your new image. In my case, I'm going to leave the avatar where it is and just use this for the contact poster. So I'll click on her old avatar and then one last check here, and that contact poster has been set. Now when I come back to the unified view, you'll notice that Judy looks perfect, filling out the entire contact poster square and making it easy for me to know who I'm calling without having to squint. You can edit your favorites at any time by pressing and holding on any one of them and moving it into any position you like. So go through your favorites and set them up with contact posters. If you like, you can go into your photo library and create an album for contact posters and grab a bunch of pictures all at once so it's easier to add them into the phone app, or you can do it individually like I did. Either way, it's never been easier to beautify and customize your phone app, making sure you can find your favorite people easily and quickly and get into all of the calls without having to dodge all of those unknown callers or all of those spam calls. Thanks, Apple. Great job on the new phone app. So that's what we've got for today's video, all about how to use the new iOS 26 phone app. If you haven't grabbed it yet, don't forget to hit this QR code or jump into the description section to download your free smart guide. I hope you learned a ton in today's lesson, but remember, there's always more to learn. Check out this video over here for even more amazing tips and tricks on how to make your Apple devices work better than ever before. I'm Dylan Stewart, the Mac Whisperer, and I'll see you in the comments.